Bukak, bukwak, bukwakwa. Vurath. Yeah. Okay. Vurath. I don't know why I keep turning all these velar fricatives into dental fricatives. It's a mystery, distant from my feeling, and not specified that's the feeling of a broken heart. YouTube, welcome back. We've got a poem that we are translating from our Conlang Me to our other Conlang, Lenethailef. And we're trying to work out what Lenethailef poetry might sound like in the process, as well as making a bunch of new decisions about vocabulary and grammar and whatnot. So, without further ado, let's jump back to the spreadsheet. A phrase that fills everyone's heart with joy. All right, back to the spreadsheet. We have our little couplet here. The one thing that we're going to change is we're going to change euch to eich. So here's our couplet so far. Mith yn agladdus tamanech, chansuth mi lunokeich. Excuse me. For an SVO language, we're going to have a lot of accusative endings at the ends of lines. And I think it's going to get a bit samey. It's going to be babada babada beich, babada babada beich, babada babada beich, babada babada beich. I don't see it being very interesting. I think maybe we will have to avoid using rhyme because it's too easy and it doesn't really show any artistry if all you have to do is put an accusative case at the end of a line in the right declension class. So what else can we do? We could explore alliteration. That's one thing we could do. We could... what could we do? Mith yn agladdus tamanech, chan suth mi lunokeith. Chan suth mi lunokeith. Mith yn agladdus tamanech, chan suth mi lunokeith. I think that's the vibe. So there are three stresses in the per line, 3 feet. So let's add an additional line here. So mith yn agladdus tamanech, chan suth mi lunokeith. So maybe the rule is we have these feet which are right-headed. Head of the foot comes at the end. And you can have any number of unstressed syllables before that. So that works, but there's something a bit unpleasant about the second line. I think it's the clash here. Chan suth mi lunokeith. Lunokeich. Gotta stop doing that. Mith yn agladdus tamanech, chan suth mi lunokeich. Chat, thoughts? Okay. All right, so maybe we can swallow schwas. Mith nagladdus. So especially mith naglad, or maybe schwas are just invisible to the meter. Mith nagladdus tamanech. Like in some, I think there's some, I'm out of my depths here a bit, but I think there are some forms of English poetry in which we're only, Old English poetry is one, in which we only care about stressed syllables. We don't even count unstressed syllables. They can do whatever they want. They can have as many as, they can just proliferate and cover the line. As long as the stressed syllables are under control, then it's valid. So, mith yn agladdus tamanech, chan suth mi lunokeich. I think I keep saying tamaneth. The fact that I keep saying tamaneth kind of makes me want to change it to tamaneth. Might be something we do. Okay. Yes, word order does come under syntax. Da 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 da. Yn agladdus tamanech. Mith yn agladdus tamanech. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it should work. Chan suth mi lunokeith. Keich. again. Well then, but what do we think about the rhyme, chat? It's too easy. It's just accusatives. Ooh. Elijah, add a particle in between sooth and me. Yeah, so something in here. Now, receive, never. So do we have a never? I don't think we have a never. I'm lost. I'm like a child who's wandered into a movie. All right, so I'm out of my element. Where is the lexicon? Never? No. All right, well, we have all these new words, so let's use one. Maybe quachua is going to be our never. Chansuth kusmi lunukeith. All right. Double negatives. Yeah, so whether this is never or ever, unspecified yet. We may have double negatives, we may not. Gender system. Do we have a gender system in this line? We do not, I think, have a gender system as of yet. But what if we had case only showing up on like definite objects? So if an object is definite, it shows up with accusative. Otherwise, it's showing up as nominative / genitive, which are syncretic in Lenethailef. Yeah, I kind of like that actually. Me lunukeith kuschansuth. Oh, yeah. If we play with the word order, we could be a little less, samey. So, me lunukeith. What was Jack's suggestion? Kuschansuth. Oops, this should be chan. Sort of half romanized, half not. Goodness gracious. All right, so then we would have me, genitive, blessing, accusative, never, now, receive, negative. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So then we can get rid of this. And then we have mith and agladas tamanech. Me lunukeith kuschansuth. Kuschansuth. Great. Beautiful. I like that. Mith and agladas tamanech. Me lunukeith kuschansuth. Whoa, I just had an idea. What if you had to rhyme, but not with the final foot? So the final foot of the first line has to rhyme with the, second foot of the second line. That might give it some energy. So, mith and agladas tamanech, me lunukeith kuschansuth, and then the second foot of the third line has to rhyme with suth. And then it just keeps going from there. So the third foot of the first line rhymes with the second foot of the second line. The third foot of the second line rhymes with the second foot of the third line, and so on and so forth, giving it some sort of momentum. Yes. So this is something that I see. This is, I guess, part of the way that I see poetic systems, and I'm by no means an expert, but there are tendencies that are keeping things static and tying things together, and there are tendencies that are pushing things apart and causing sort of disharmony. So if you have too much harmony in a poem, it's static, it's predictable. If you have too much disharmony in a poem, it doesn't feel like a poem at all. It just feels like random stuff thrown together. Having that tension between the two creates some interest. And we did that in Me with our line over the caesura thing. So then we have to come up with some way of getting us a sooth, an ooth in this third line. So what is... Oh, the third line's the best one. Let's put it back. Suffer chicken to devour you. Emphasis. Emphatic. Okay. So here we could do something like chicken, devour. This is that presumptive, I think. Chickens devour you. Something like this. Although we can play with this. So I'm pretty sure we don't have a word for chicken. So let's come up with one of those. And it would be cool if we could make this onomatopoeic as well. So let's Lexergy. Buka, bukwa, bukwa, kwa. Vurath. Yeah. Okay. Vurath. Did we? Oh no, we don't have B. So buka, bukwa, kwa. Fuchath. Fuchath. Okay. So that's our word for chicken. I'm always losing my place. It's terrible. Why does this happen? So let's put our bukakwa, bukwakwa, and we have furath. Okay. So then we have furath. It looks a bit wrong, but whatever. And then mith is going to be mita ukwe for the accusative form. Madhoich. That's you. And then we need a way. Well, we need our devour word. And then we also need a way to rhyme with sooth. So let's put our thinking caps on, firmly on. I'm sure we don't have a word for devour. Do we have eat? We don't have anything like that. All right. Let's put eat as fayuli, so hel. And let's put... Oh, did I make a mistake? Yeah, you're right. It should be furach. Furach. I don't know why I keep putting all these velar fricatives into turning all these velar fricatives into dental fricatives. It's a mystery. Furach. All right, so furach, and then we need fayuli, which is going to be eat, which is going to give us hel, and then we need the presumptive form of that. So we go back to the grammar, and we have achwe. So this is not going to get us what we need, so we're going to need another word in there. Let's put this halish. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Furish halith mathoich. I think we can pro drop this U. And so this will give us another foot to work with so that we can have sooth in the second position. So we have furach something halish furach something. What's this something going to be? It has to end in uth. All right, do we have any inflectional forms that end in uth? Let's go back to Lenethailef. Let's check it out. It looks like we do not. So it's going to have to be, we're going to have to accomplish this by using some sort of an adverb or something that doesn't decline, because we have no way of getting it as part of our inflection. How are we going to translate this suffer, this malefactive passive? That could be our savior here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how we're going to do this, because we haven't been messing around with the argument structure, so I'm not sure exactly what passives would even look like in the call languages. Yeah. Maybe what we could do is we could make use of our emphatic. Because then we can do whatever we want, really. We have this kind of interjection. We could just do a passive form that ends in uth. I'm reticent to make any gigantic grammatical decisions, though, based on this one rhyme. Because I don't really want to have an inflected passive. I don't know. So why don't we could make a protoform similar to the one that, exactly, Elijah, that birthed sooth, and just use it for this emphatic. I think this is somewhat of the coward's way out, something of the coward's way out, but let's do it for now because I do not know what else to do. So what could we do for some sort of emphatic, like alas particle? It's going to have to end in something like, yeah, uta. Something like menuta, I think would do it. Meneth, no. Muta, muth. Chuth, luta, luth. Aluta, alath. Aluchuta, aluth. So there are different ways of getting it. Let's do this. Aluchuta, which gives us aluth. So this gives us vorige luth gelish. So mith en agladas temenech, mi lunokech kus gansuth, vorige luth gelish. And then maybe we can finish off in the next 10 minutes with the last line. Not compare to the feeling of my broken heart. Okay. So what could we do here? Something like, where is our lexicon? Do we have something like reach? We could use something, maybe we have a word that means reach. What would be a good word for reach? Maybe kuil, reach. So this will have to go into the negative. So kuhuli. And our negative is what? Na? Nu. Kuhulinu. Kuilan. All right, so then we get something like reach negative. Where is our U umlaut? It lives in this spreadsheet. I. Kui. What did we say? Kuilan. That's one word we need. Does not reach. Broken heart. And by reach, I mean it does not reach the level of. It's not comparable to. Yes. Let's have, oh my goodness. Let's have the last foot of the fourth line rhyme with the second foot of the first. It's the circle of life. Yes. Which is an lath. So do we have anything that can do that in our grammar? Ath. I don't believe we do. So maybe we can use it's not reach. We need a word for like feeling or pain. This is going to be really hard because we don't have anything that ends in lath or ath. All right, well, let's like make suso be feel. And then we could use another one of these uk, borrowed nominalizations from susukech. And then kuilen. So we have susukech. And then we need our friend in here to give us ath. All right. Oh, that's true. Okay, so we're in a lot of trouble. So what we need to do then is, I think we need to rethink this line. Let's have a word like be distant. We'll call it nif. And then we can use the presumptive form, it will be distant. Which would be, What did we have? Achwe. Nipe achwe. Navesh. Navesh. Okay, it needs to be something that ends in E. So let's say this is Nipi. Navish. Okay, good. Kuilen Navish. So we don't have to have Kuilen anymore. But we need to have something like distant presumptive. And then we need ath at the end of this. So we could put Susukei at the start. Susukei, Navish, and then something ath. It is distant from the feeling. Okay, maybe we don't have a lot of room here. So what we could do is maybe say something like distant from my feeling and not specify that's the feeling of a broken heart. Or, oh no, yeah, we could put in this heartbreak word because the genitive has no ending. So yes, if we use that, then we could do it. Okay. Something like heartbreak, pain. Let's say pain, and let's make it something that ends in ath. So what would that be? Do we have anything on hand? I don't think so. Do we have anything in the dictionary? No. All right. So to make ath, we need something like ata, machata, something like that. Math. Okay. But we have that restriction that we can only have 3 syllables in a morpheme. So machata going to math. So this would mean it will be distant from the feeling of pain. Maybe we could put in of my pain. We don't have a first person pronoun in here. Do we? I. Oh, that's not going to help. First, no. Why don't we do something like servant as the origin for the first person? Just because we're shamelessly stealing from certain traditions here. Not naming any names. So we need a short word that means servant. Maybe kosapa. So this could be... Okay. So then this would work. The pain of... Or we could do what Quain suggests and come up with a word for heart. What about this sefo? Or sufo, rather. Sef. So then we could do sef, heart, gen, pain, gen. Susukeich, navish, sef, math. So then the whole poem would be Mith and agladas tamaneich, mil unukeich kus chansuth, fura chaluth helish, susukeich, navish, sef, math. That's kind of cool. I think we've done it. And just in time too, because it is 4, and it is time for me to rest. And it's time for you to rest. I'm going to come back over here to the main camera and say thank you. Thank you so much for joining as we've rather laboriously and arduously come up with a translation for, again, I think probably the best poem ever written by humans. So now it's been translated into Lenethailef, and we've built the foundations of a poetic form in Lenethailef, which is a kind of a cool one. I think it turned out really nicely. Thank you all so much, chat. This has been a lot of fun. So YouTube, I'll talk to you now. Thank you, and come back soon, because you've seen what we do. You know if you like it. If you like it, there's going to be a lot more of it. So come back, and we will see you next time.